Bus will come and pick you up, and you know, she always does, so I said, no, okay, I will wait for you.
Oh.
No fue la culpa de Neta.
I need to show you something, Rosa. And it just happened right in front of me when I was coming to the meeting. It's unfortunate.
There goes Mr. Irving.
All right, we have established a quorum. We'd like to have a roll call to be official. We've already given the allotted amount of time necessary for people to get here. So if we can have roll call.
Mr. Guillermo Castro.
Here.
Ms. Pavelina Guerra.
Not present,
Ms. Isela Martinez.
not present,
Mr. Juan Avila.
Present?
Ms. Rosie Centeno Hinojosa.
present,
Jessica Ontiveros.
not
present.
present,
Richard Geisler.
Present.
And Mike Taylor.
Present.
You do have a quorum.
Thank you. For the record, we have a quorum, and we continue to have a quorum, so that's good.
our five faithful are here.
Yes.
I like that. That's when you walked in, that's why I said our faithful one.
If anyone has copies of the minutes or was able to review the minutes before coming,
I make a motion, we
I
so
was
approve.
able to review, and I'd like to move that we approve as presented to us.
there's a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? If not, I'd like to go ahead and call the question. All those in favor of accepting the minutes as presented?
Aye.
Saying aye. All opposed, same sign. Okay, the minutes are approved. We have, I was looking for the public comments.
Communications. We
And
don't have no public comment thing right now.
on the agenda in my phone where I have my other agenda is not working.
Cabo, do you
Yes.
have on the agenda?
Yes, we do have, on the agenda, public comments is there.
All right.
No, I guess I have the agenda here.
There we go.
Oh, there you go. Not on
Yes,
the notice.
it's right
Okay, there we go.
Yes.
So, roll call minutes, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, we do have public comments for this meeting. We have Ms. Lidia Zavala, who has signed up to give us some public comments, and I'd like to go ahead and open it up and ask
I'll
you.
just say my name? No.
I just said it, and it's on record already when you fill out the.
Well, first time since September, October. I'm glad to be here. My comment mostly is, I just would like a safe ride and stress-free. I could bring up so many issues, but I know that you're all talking about Mayor, former Martin, and all those other people, which my grandfather was among them, because he was a city commissioner and he hired all the people. And I remember the bus uniform he wore, because he was a bus driver in the 40s. And it was a brown one. I don't know if you remember Jackie Gleason, where he looked like that, except he was thin. But he wore his uniform all the time. And so I never thought, I would be back in Laredo, because I moved to Ohio. And, but all I was just wondering, if a CEO went undercover, I wonder what he would buy. Because I hear it all talking of what's going around with the city. And you see the show where I hear, right? How they get sentimental and they find out and people don't know who he is. And that's all I want to know, to make the employees stress-free and safe, because they talk a lot. They stress out a lot, which stresses me out. And I'm always calling everybody, almost every day, saying, this is happening, that's happening. How can we all work together? And the pack hardly ever is a quorum. And does Laredo care about the disabled and their elderly? I know they care about the kids, having them at the LEA meeting for backpacks and the fire department and the police. What about the elderly, And get your vans ready, get them fixed. Get your, I know some drivers are crying because of the shift. You drop from Peter to pay Paul. You take off on the weekday, they give me vans on the weekends, you know, and is it when the school's coming in, especially with the college? Are we gonna really have ridership, being satisfied, so many denied rides, so many long trip stressed drivers that, I come in at 9 o'clock, I have appointment 9:01. You know, it's different things, and they're stressing me out. Because I know it has to be management, but what is the management doing? Who is management here? Who is the CEO? I already talked to Dennis Jensen many, many years ago, but he retired in October. I told him why he was eating at the restaurant. His wife was upset, but I told him. And then with under Monty Royster and, oh my goodness, all these different managers. I have like 5 managers, about 5 general managers, about 4 or 5 managers or supervisors for a lift. So, you know, that's I just want the people of Laredo to care, especially the politicians. Some politics here, like you all were saying, it's true. We all can, you know, work together and make us happy. Because one day you're going to be writing it. One day your mother, father, grandfather, aunt, uncle, you know, you want to see how they are treated. Not just a paycheck. Okay, care about your job. Care about the elderly and disabled. That you can make a better world. Like President Kennedy. Don't ask what the country can do for you. Ask what you can do for the country. So that's all I have to say, and I just pray that it gets better. It has to. Can't get worse. Thank you.
I like that.
Thank you, Mike.
I hear you now, 'cause I use it too. You know that I use the vans. Lately, I have not been using them so much because I was being very lucky and I got this lady who kind of moves me around now. But I was taking care of my 2 little granddaughters this summer. Tomorrow, God willing, it's gonna be the last day I'm gonna take care of them. Thank the Lord that I made it through. But you know, I understand what you're saying. And it is very sad for us. Because, I mean, I'm already 68 years old. And I know what it is, you know. When some people don't think that they're gonna get our age. Or they think they're gonna be able to do things better. And you know that that's not true. And I tell all the youngsters, because I talk to a lot of youngsters, don't forget about us older people. We still can do something. Don't throw us like an old rat, because that cannot be done. At least that's the way I feel. You know, your mind's still bright, my mind's still bright, and we can do a lot for the community if things would be in a way that they were permitted for us to do. You know, that's the way I feel. And I know what you mean, and I know from where you're coming from. And I can bear with you, and I can hear you, because I've gone through those things at times.
No, on that note, I think once I said that we need to have an audience, and I admire you for coming up and saying the things that are close to you, because we're all going to be at that place one day. You know, we thank our Lord that we're in a better place, even though you heard us criticize what the system is and how it's going wrong. It's our belief. We could be wrong. But the idea is that we do need to care for our elderly. Why? Because they provided for us when we were young, and we need to stand up for them. And I think this is a good board to listen to your plight on what you are going through. You're just one. But these meetings here, if we do an educational, we go back to that
Yes.
PSI, whatever you want to call it, there's a lot of abuse, but there's a lot of need also. There's people here that expect things to be done their way, but these people work. Yes, we all have to work. It's a service that we have to provide for our elderly and our young, and our young teenagers, transportation. But the needs of the elderly and the handicapped must be at the upfront. And we need people like you to come to this board and let them know what we're doing wrong and what we're doing right. You know, yes, I believe in hearing our employees, or let's say they're employees, they're our employees, because we're the taxpayers, you know, we all have problems. But when we come to work, we do a job. And services should be at the highest level, you know? We can criticize, but until we walk those shoes, we know what they're going through, you know? But I commend you for coming here and telling us that and telling your plight, without us not knowing, because we drive cars. But one day, I remember growing up, we lived on Malinche Street or Market, and we would take the bus to come downtown to the plaza to watch the movies. We had bought our empty Coca-Cola bottles, and they would take them, and you would walk in for a popcorn. The public transportation is a necessity for all people that don't have the means to move around, but more and more for the handicapped. I just got to learn about what Lyft is all about, you know, and I think it's a very good program that can service you and people that are in need. We can't forget about that. We have a conscience, we have mothers, we have
It's a wonderful
grandfathers.
program.
It's a beautiful
Yeah,
program.
it is.
But we need people like you to come and ask. We need to have meetings where we have 15 or 20 people to come. It's your transportation system. We've been given the opportunity just to hear and get our point how we can help them. We're just an advisory board. But guess what? The input that you give us is the input that we are going to give to our councilman or to the mayor or to whoever we serve. We're the eyes and ears. We may criticize them, but in all, we work for you, we work for us, but we stand together. And I compliment you for having the courage to come here. It takes a lot of guts, but I think you're in the right place. If we can get more people to come in, we'll have a bigger meeting room.
We're great that someone comes up and tells us, you know, not hearing it from me or from no one else, but from the public like you.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, and right there, Ms. Zavala, just for you to know, as a matter of fact, I was talking to Sergio Mora last week. We sat down and spoke. I'm working on a project as far as with my boys. We're trying to pick up some funds and we're going to go to the Commissioner's Court. We're not saying that we're going to buy hundreds of AC units, but we're going to be looking down the list with the commissioners for them to provide us some kind of information to where we can provide at least 2 AC units, because there's a lot of elderlies out there don't even have a fan, and they have that fan box, and it's the air is hotter than what it's outside already as it is. So believe me, I'm one of the persons, and you know, not to go back, because I don't really like to go back, but I was one of the persons, you recall. My thing is the elderlies. Every single elderly person that we can have, that we can help out. It's not only for us, but we have to look at the future.
Yes.
Who's gonna take care of me? I passed on a video here a couple of days ago where the daughter threw her father out of the house because she wanted to sell the house. And he put him outside in the street, a 93-year-old man. It's like, I was just offered, I have it here on my phone. 4 days ago, they just offered me a baby boy that was just born. They offered it to us to, you know, take it because CPS is taking the rest of them from me, and my husband's being deported. I don't want this child to suffer. 4 days old, and the mom said, "Mr. Avila, do you want him?" That's how bad it is nowadays. That's how bad it is, and it's getting worse. It's getting worse, but we keep striving to try to help out as much as possible.
That's
Believe
the
me,
biggest
I'm one of
problem.
those persons.
And that is the biggest problem. We don't have too many people that try to do that. I don't know if you know, Mr. Avila, last year, and I don't want to get out of, last year, SCDC, through the area H and AAA,
Okay.
they had the program for the window units. And I was able to help over 100 people. I know it was nothing to, you know, it was this little to the amount of people that we have that need the air units. And we still, to this date, I've gotten calls from all over Laredo South Laredo, the Mines Road, North Laredo, East Laredo, West Laredo. I mean, it's all over the city and the county, that there's elderly people or disabled people, that they're not necessarily elderly, that need those, you know, those window units. Unfortunately, they have a waiting list. How long is it gonna take?
Inside.
I don't know. And now we have a new director in that program. She's working very well, but like she said, I have a lot of people waiting. So I mean, and that's everything, everywhere. Housing is the same problem, you know? Just 2-3 days ago, I had a lady that, she was here waiting for me once. I called housing, they gave me a number that she was in. Then 3 months later, I called, she had a higher number. I said, pues I don't know how you choose your people. You know, it was done to me, because they told me the numbers. So, they just called me 3 days ago. She was dead in the morning when her provider got into her house. She found her dead in the bed. That's a shame. It's a big shame, because the lady really needed a better housing place to live. She had no air conditioner. I mean, you think about those things and you say, my God, you know, there's still those people around.
It's happening. It's still happening.
And it's happening in our own backyard. That's what hurts, you know, that's what really hurts.
You're correctly, because back 30, 40 years ago, you know, el calor no hace nada. Ahorita,
We were young, didn't feel it.
It kills us.
Yeah,
it kills us, exactly.
that's right.
Thank you.
Thank you all very
Thank
much
you.
for the comments. Anybody else have any other comments to make?
I just want to commend these people, because I know they've been helping us a lot, Mrs. Barta, Ms. Soto, and Mr. Villarreal. At least every time I call you, you always answer, and you always have an answer for me. So I do want to appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Try.
Thanks. If there's no other comments or anything, then I will go ahead and move on. Thank you,
Okay.
Ms. Lala, for coming and giving us a report.
Motion to close up the public comments?
Yes, is there a second to close public
I
comments?
second.
There's a motion and a second to close public comments. If there's no further discussion, I'll go ahead and call the question. All those in favor of closing public comments and moving on to staff reports and communications, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, we're moving on to staff reports and communications.
Nos trajo taquitos.
Oh, there's sweet bread. Do you want some? Yes,
Do we have coffee by any chance?
Mr. Villarreal.
There was some on the outside door?
There was some in the outside door.
A ver, vamos a ver si hay. Si hay, sí.
Here you go.
Thank you
Mr.
very much.
Vice- There's the plates. I don't know which one you want.
I shouldn't, but I'm gonna have a piece. I'm a diabetic, but that's one of my weaknesses.
Well, compliments of Mr. Castro. He brought the
Yes,
sweet bread.
I know.
Just for the record, we're not liable for.
I understand, Mr. Mayor, don't worry. I'll even hear it at the house, it doesn't matter.
No coffee. We're gonna have to go to Starbucks afterwards.
But there's water at least, so.
Yeah, para no darte.
Funny hour.
Funny hour, there you go.
Thank
Thank you,
God we're
Sandy.
used to everything, Mr. Castro.
Mr. Castro brought the sweet bread.
Thank you, Mr. Castro.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Okay, so I'm going to go over the ridership for the month of July. You will see a decrease of about, I guess, 500.
No?
Oh, can you see it? Oh, you can't see it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the ridership for July for 2018 is 3,365. It's always lower
But
during the summer time.
there's been a trend like that this year though, right?
The ridership did decrease. We have seen a change, well, we have seen the numbers go down. And,
People go out of town and they're not
Well, it's
here.
been like all year though.
I know, yeah, it's been all,
Yeah.
it started, yes, we can't say that it was because of the fare increase, because it wasn't. It was already decreasing way before that. I remember we were also talking about it. So I know that, I mean, from what I got from all of you all, I know that you have this great passion for helping the elderly and people with disabilities. So what I was going to recommend is, since you're such great advocates for our Paratransit Committee, is that maybe we can give you some pamphlets and you can, whenever you're out there going to other meetings, other committees, you can give the pamphlets of the Live Paratransit service and just give them out to anyone that might be in need of our services.
That sounds like a great
They
idea.
can call us. I can give you our business cards. I can give you mine, Mr. Villarreal and Ms. Soto's. That would really help us out a lot. Maybe we can, we do have a community outreach coordinator. But maybe if we can start organizing maybe monthly events to, to
Educate.
target those centers that would need our services. So maybe those individuals that would benefit from using our services and seeing you all there, your presence as a committee, and Mr. Kazin did mention something very, a great suggestion to make some shirts for you all. So when you all are out there advocating for us, and you can show that you're part of the Paratransit Advisory Committee and you're helping the elderly and the and
One
people
thing
with disabilities.
that I have come up with people, they think, because every quarter, the first thing they ask you, how much do you receive?
Oh, for your money. Oh.
Yeah.
For your income.
And
Yes, I know.
many of the elderly, unfortunately, think that if they get the service, it's based on how much they receive. And I have told many, not one or two, it's been many people, I said, no, that does not matter.
Yes, we don't ask for that type of information on our
Yes,
application.
I
I know
know.
Mr. Avila has mentioned before, he's been trying to get, I guess, organizations so our customers don't have to pay for their services, but we don't offer that right now. So maybe, I don't know.
We're still working on it.
They can reach out to other organizations, even the centers that we do provide service to, maybe they can buy the lift tickets for them. We've made it extremely accessible for them to purchase these tickets. So maybe that can help us out a lot. And
Do we have a speakers bureau?
a speakers bureau?
Yes. Like, in other words, to go out and just kind of do speaking engagements to either organizations, schools, daycares, adult daycares, whatever, where the people are.
I
just
think
to
the
let them know.
adult daycare is a place where we can really, go to them.
Mr. Chairman, maybe, I don't know, through staff, if you could maybe reach out to the city councilmen, how they do their meetings out in the
town halls.
out of the town hall meetings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe that if they can send us an invite, and maybe we can,
We do attend those meetings though, right?
Okay.
Our community outreach coordinator.
Yes.
Currently, they do attend, Metro does attend any town hall.
And with all due
meetings, But
respect-
you want your presence.
exactly,
Okay.
because
I got it.
Pancho knows Pancha, and Jose knows Pedro, and, you get,
But those are open to the public.
Era más la gordiloca que...
I was
Oh my God. That's how we need Mr. Castro.
They're open to the public,
They got
but
rich people there.
as
too.
a courtesy, yes, so we can all work together and we know your goals and your vision for, providing better services because you're representing El Metro, the department. So we can be on the lookout for that and then we can send you, Mr. Villarreal can send you the dates whenever there's events like that going
But
on.
the daycares, the adult daycares are very important, because I know a lot of people that go there that don't have ways and means of moving. They go because the
They pick 'em
daycare
up.
provides stuff right for them.
So I'm gonna give you a box of pamphlets to distribute, just kidding, because you're saying that you have, no, but it would
I'll be
really
more
help
than
us out.
willing.
I know that each one of y'all is involved in other
I
other
sit on the,
organizations and committees, so that
Workforce
would really
Advisory
help.
Board,
Okay.
and, they meet, I think, this coming Thursday. And it's a big board because it goes, I think, Zapata, and I know we want Laredo only, but there's a lot of organizations there that can probably pass those pamphlets, and it goes to the educating of, a lot of them have elderly, handicapped.
Or the health
I can give you the
providers,
applications as
companies
well.
also.
Yeah,
I mean, it's available online either way, but I can also provide those, I can provide at least 10, 15 copies of those
Yeah.
applications.
Mhm.
I can help you, we can go over it, help you out filling them out. It's rather easy. The doctor does have a portion to fill out, but if
I
they
have
have any
filled out a lot
questions.
of that they're getting the service now.
Yes.
The only thing they needed is go to the doctor and they have to fill out their part and sign and bring it back to the
That's
metro.
fine.
If the committee is inclined or so inclined, go ahead and entertain a motion to have us shown how to fill out the application, or
Sure.
assist in filling out the application at our next meeting. Also possibly to get
Make
the
it-
copies of the pamphlets and all.
Make it an item on the agenda for next meeting.
So you want me, we can,
So-
I guess, put together a package and hopefully by then we'll have
I so moved to
your
the
shirts.
I second that motion.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
I would like to add, if, when we have these meetings and other board members, do you all have like a spokesman that can attend that meeting? We can ask Mr. Rogelio Treviño, or si no, la muchacha, I forget her name, she's a right-hand man lady. But we can set up a meeting with him to attend, and that way it brings it out to open to all these other areas that they, like businesses, and they have families that, hey, you know, 'cause a lot of people don't know about the lift.
Many people don't know.
They don't know.
Mhm.
And if we promote that through the business sector, it'll help us promote it, and if they want to probably join on it, because a lot of these executives that are there, they have family members that are
Mr.
disabled.
Gasso, that's what I'm saying, the home health
Mhm.
is one
One start.
department that we can tell them
Right.
about this program.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they can relate that to their customers, their clients, you know?
Yes.
Because many of those people are elderly, the majority, 90%, 95% are elderly that don't have ways and means of moving around.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then we can set up a meeting where the next meeting I'll have Mr. Rogelio reach out to you guys to invite you for the public comments. And that way our members will know.
what committee is this, Mr. Castro?
It's the workforce.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
I think it's this coming Thursday.
And now he just became the president for the Rotary Club as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah.
Mr.
Really?
Trevino, yes. he's the new
Trevino.
Oh, I
president.
thought you,
Yeah, no, Mr. Rogelio Trevino.
No, Mr. Trevino Trevino, he just became the president
The Rotary Club.
for the Rotary Club.
Getting
He
him
just
on
became the
board
president.
is gonna be a big plus too.
Yeah, because he can give us a big push, you know?
Yeah.
We need to
Yes.
bring it up.
yes, we do.
Okay, and just a point of clarification, I know that elderly do have a big need, but remember, under ADA, it is
Yes.
open to all that needs the
With-
service.
Oh, correct. No, no, no.
Qualifies for the
Correct.
service.
Yeah.
You're
So
correct.
I understand the emphasis on elderly because we've done that and
Right.
we try to push out, but again, it's open. And also just like it's not financially based, it's need-based.
Understand.
And for people that qualify.
It's open to the public.
So,
Yeah.
open to the public, and just as a point of clarification, so
Uh-huh.
people know that the service is available to
What's the
anyone who needs it.
Can I just ask one question? I'm not sure. What's the extraterritorial jurisdiction to the Mines Road, up to where?
It is up to, I believe it's
Basket.
3/4 of a mile from our last bus stop that would be on Mines Road, so.
So Baskin, no?
It would
Baskin
be.
Boulevard is
Bota Ranch,
the
maybe?
back.
It's,
No,
Oh, it
you
goes
can
to La
get
Bota.
someone at La Bota Ranch.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I seen it.
Yeah,
I
I
seen
saw-
it there.
Miss Zavala.
Well,
Does it
I've
Green
gone to
Ranch?
La Bota Ranch
doesn't-
to pick
Does
up.
it go to Green Ranch?
Does it go to Green
Green
Ranch?
Ranch is a little bit further up.
Yeah, because I have people farther up that they need it and they're disabled, but it's very
But it's
important.
They won't be denied the service, Miss Centeno, they won't be denied the service, but we can't pick them up over there, but if they can find, I know it's gonna be hard, but maybe El Águila can, drive them closest to where we can have, jurisdiction,
I have to
and our
check
banks
with
can pick them
Mr.
up.
Martinez, yeah.
They won't be denied the service.
Because what they told me was that they could pick them up there at, what is it, Rancho Viejo.
Oh, well.
That there they could be picked up.
Rancho Viejo is a lot closer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
closer.
No, because they live way out there, you know where the Primero
I've seen the
is?
lift in Bota.
It's
¿Dónde
way
están
out
los
there.
caballos? Sí, ¿para dónde están los caballos? La puerta de
It's
caballos.
way out there.
Or,
That's music.
as
Well,
long
that's
as.
part of the county, so.
I mean, if they drop them off at La Bota Ranch where there's an elementary school there, that's a
And
safe
Mola.
area right there, so,
There's the stripes right there.
yes.
It's Muller's Elementary
So
there.
they can drop them off there and Liv can pick them up there, Miss Centeno, just so you can let them know.
Okay, so I can let them know that the Águila can pick them up over there with them.
Yes, but I don't know how they work though.
Yeah.
Maybe we can bring that one up, Vicente, on the next meeting that we go
Do you
to.
live
Yeah.
in Bota or dónde?
Yeah, you have to be.
Our meeting's tomorrow también, ¿no?
No, it's next month.
That they
Oh,
don't,
this-
they don't
Miss
pick it up.
Zavala.
We don't have this
We don't
one,
have
it's
this
till next month. It's 1 month yes and 1 month no.
I used to.
Oh, well, you left, but we're still in that the motor, so.
No, but my niece's mother lives there.
Oh, okay. Dile que me hable, because we have.
Okay, so the ridership, that's the status on the ridership as of right now, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's for July. For the month of June and July, we did see a decrease, but there's always a decrease during those 2 months. But hopefully in August, the ridership will go up, school starting.
That makes a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do anticipate,
Yes,
okay.
for the ridership to increase, yes.
Okay, now do you anticipate as far as total wise with the vans that you'll have enough? Or because of the school coming back and college and stuff, are you gonna have to put another extra van in there?
Because we cut 3 vans, right?
Point of parliamentary procedure before we.
I'm sorry.
Before we do all that, I forgot. We had a motion and a second.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. We're gonna let it die for a
No,
while.
no.
So, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of putting the item on the agenda
For next
for
meeting.
next meeting, which is the application and the pamphlets and whatnot?
Yes, sir.
Well, that was including with Mr.
Castro was saying.
Castro's comment as well, including Mr.
Presentation.
Presentation for that?
Yes.
Okay.
I so moved, and I think you said.
The second motion, yes.
So therefore, all those in favor say
Aye.
all
Aye.
opposed? Okay, okay. Now we can go back to the other part.
Now you lost me. Where was I? Are we gonna be adding, are we gonna have enough fans, or are we gonna have to add back on in order to fulfill the,
We do, currently right now, we do have enough fans to meet the demand that we currently have.
okay,
If need be, Ms. Soto is aware of the situation that's going on, so we will add another van to meet the demand. If it starts increasing and we have a demand for that, for a certain time, we will add a van. Nothing is set in stone where it's going to be, no, that's it, that's the only van, I'm sorry, there's
Understand.
nothing, no.
Understand.
I will advise Ms. Soto, and she told me as soon as you see a
We
demand,
can't deny services or
Yes.
anything like that.
Right.
so
Because
we
we
will
have
have to
three
make
that
that
were out,
immediate
right?
change.
Adjustments.
In adding vans,
Sure.
yes, adjustments,
now,
we will.
okay, Rose, on that same particular note, the drivers that you have on the, are they still standing by? And the reason I'm asking is because I got a comment. The drivers that are standing by to pick up the extra vans, are they also in there for the, for the board, for the regular route, and then they take over on the vans?
What extra van?
Which,
In other words, per se, if one Avila didn't show up for work, so that driver that's on standby, you're gonna, it's,
The
are they the-
drivers of protection will cover for the driver that's.
for the driver that's absent. But it's not the part-timers that can, that way we won't miss into the funding of going overtime or
As for
stuff.
the contract, it's based by seniority.
It's very, very minority, right?
Yeah, and if protection, if everybody that's here in protection is part-timer, whoever is first is the one that goes out.
Okay.
You can have a mixture of extra board and part-timers
They
on
can do it.
protection, so it,
It varies.
yeah.
Have to go by the contract.
Thank you.
okay, so, Mr. Kazin, do I proceed with the reports, the cancellations report? Because we were going over the ridership.
Right, and, are we done with ridership or?
Yes,
I think so,
Okay.
yeah.
Then go ahead.
Okay, for the month of July, we had a total of 892
Hey.
trips. And I want to remind you all, I know these numbers do look scary, but it's, they're round trips, so you have to,
Right.
I know they do look scary, but we
Right,
did
right.
send out letters. We are, whenever there's a customer making an appointment, we do remind them to call ahead of time, and they are aware of that. I think what happened in July was that we do have the subscription service, so we had all the teachers on the system. So it's not necessarily that we had, so many cancellations and they were taking over the space. That's why the number's extremely high.
Yeah.
So by August, we should see,
a reduced number.
yes, we should see a lower number.
And as you pointed out, that is round trip, it's not.
Yes.
It's
It's
It's not a one-way.
Yeah,
not a
when I
one-way
see
trip.
those numbers as well, I get scared.
Get scared, yeah.
Yes.
Question in hand, how, excuse me, Mr. Chairman, you say you send out letters.
Yes.
What's the response on the letters from the customers though?
I did have customers call me, some of them were, they were concerned that their services would be stopped. I think they were seeing that letter as that's it, you're no longer gonna receive
Right.
that type of services with us. So what I did is we advised our dispatchers and I told them, look, we're mailing out this letter. I gave them a copy of the letter, English and Spanish, this is what we're doing. And so when the customers would call, they would explain to them, this is just a letter advising you that the cancellation policy has changed and this is what we're gonna do now. And so sometimes they would ask to speak to me and I would explain everything to them, but other than that, they were okay with it.
Mr. Chairman, I would like, I don't know if it's possible because of the union wise that they have, but I would like to see per se, let's say Rosa's a dispatcher and I would like for her to get like a survey. As a matter of fact, when I call in and see the type of service that Rosa's giving me behind that phone, to see, good morning, thank you for calling Metrolit, my name is Rosa, how can I help you today, can we get like a survey on that to where we can see, or at least staff can see, the service that their operators are delivering out to the public, and then if we can get some feedback from that, I think it would be.
So you're asking for something like when you, I don't know, call a hotel and
Yeah.
say,
Well,
"Can I stay on the line?"
Okay,
for-"
and thank you for bringing it up. When my clerks used to be at the front desk, they would, there was a survey they knew that it was between the second and the last week of the month, we would get one call per month. And if they passed it, they even got a certificate and a gift card, whatever I would give them out, dinner, lunch, whatever. If they passed it all, completely made 100 on it, scored, tops. If they didn't, that means that we would have to go through remedial and retrain them and, go through the whole scenario again and see, hey, let's get it up there, that service. And you just, we all spoke on the same issue, and I think Ms. Sandy approved it. We need to build up some more, but with a survey behind it, we could tell, well, oí donde Rosa dijo, ay, otra vez Ávila. Or, you know what I mean? We want to hear what's behind that phone line. We want to hear exactly, hey, maybe the customer doesn't see it, but I'm actually smiling at you because I'm glad to hear you calling. I'm glad, we're giving you that service. Is it possible through the union that they have, would it be possible to get that?
To have
I think it would be more of the company having, because, if you get a dispatcher to do their own survey, that's not gonna work.
No. That's what I'm saying.
It's gonna have to be somebody.
From the outside.
I've called, and when I've called it, they, ay, qué bueno that you're calling again, we haven't heard you in a long time. And I tell them thank you, because you feel good
Mm-hmm.
that they miss you, but like I said, I've been lucky lately and I have this lady, but it's probably not gonna be forever, so.
Well, at one point, we had a
It was
mystery
Best.
shopper.
Oh, that was what
That's what it is,
Langley
yeah.
used to call.
Best was the one that was doing it, and then we also had an unofficial mystery shopper that would ride on occasion and then give some feedback. So I don't know if that's the kind of program that you can put in place. Obviously, we can't take care of individual personnel matters, but as an overall trend or an overall picture, we can kind of request to have, I guess, how people are actually perceiving the.
customer satisfaction surveys.
Correct.
So basically, we can, we can know our progress month to month, and then, I don't know, we would have to go back.
And look at it.
That would have to be something that we would have to end up doing,
Yes,
because otherwise we have to hire somebody from the outside to.
Sometimes it's difficult,
but I think it's a great idea. It is a great recommendation, and that's our goal right now, is to have customer satisfaction throughout El Metro.
And that just goes, I'm sorry, Mr. Toro, and that's just it would go back to you as being the leader of the team to see what kind of, structure you have formatted for them, it will go back to Rosa, it will go back to Mr. Villarreal,
To everyone.
because all of you.
I think
As the
it's
staff
great.
at the front, it would relate back on you,
I
hey,
think it's a good idea.
see how you're training them up like top dogs, and that's exactly what we wanted to do.
And I know that they have been trained much better now. That I know.
Why don't we put something like, who do we service? People like her, the public. And we have like a little thing that we put on the bus, and it says, rate your driver, or rate your clerk.
We actually did that at one point.
And if you do that, it brings like her word, you know, I'm gonna go to good comment, and you collect them. And then that's what you do. And then when you audit them, this was the best driver for the lift, this was the best driver for the route, you reward them with something. That picks up morale, and at the same time, who are your service?
How was
The
your
public-
ride? How was your ride?
How was your ride?
How was your ride?
Something like that?
How was
And
your
then how
driver?
was your-
Let's
A
get into that.
commentary of
And then
what
Yeah.
goes
When they
on
call
in the
it,
ride.
how was your?
There has to be a package of everything.
Yeah.
Dispatchers, drivers.
How was your overall experience?
Right.
When you called, how was this, and then we asked
Yeah.
you some questions, and then when you got in the van, and we,
And I think what happens is that that driver, that Lyft driver, or that person that answers the phones is gonna be, oh, hey, me porto bien.
They're gonna
Hey,
give you a
something.
better treatment.
Or something, you know. No, but you
Well,
reward
you could
them.
say that, you know?
There was a person there were people at TAMU, the business students, I believe, that took it on as a project at one point.
Yeah.
And we're compiling the surveys and we're making,
Mhm.
this is a few years back.
here,
Yeah. For the lift.
For the metro.
Yeah.
And you can always go back to TAMU, I mean, you can talk to the counselors and they can get a group, like they do for the food
oh, I
bank
see what you
education.
mean,
Yeah.
and they're the ones that will be
That they
calling the
would send.
customers, asking them how
They-
their.
Yeah, they compiled, they put together the survey, they
That's
put
it,
together
yeah.
the whole thing. So they put all the metrics together and they did it for free.
Yeah.
That was the stipulation, was to
And
do it
school's
for
just
free.
starting, maybe.
Yeah, but you'd have to talk to a professor maybe, because that way you get some credit. for it.
Yes.
It all comes back to
Or
customer
high school
service.
students?
High school students could work too, you
Community
just need
service
to
hours.
make sure.
Graduating seniors that need.
Graduating seniors that need those
They
hours.
need the hours or the points, you know?
Yeah.
And just remember that you all have the overall approval of the structure before. it
Because
goes
we
out.
have a lot of good seniors that are willing to help out.
Okay.
Do you have to make a motion for that?
That
Or
would-
Make
recommendation?
the recommendation, put it in a package.
Yeah.
Well, but can we amend the one that we did earlier and put it in?
As part of the customer service, well, wait,
It's two different-
yeah, one's
With
ridership
And this one is.
awareness.
Yeah.
So what we could do is put it on as,
Customer
make it a recommendation to put it on for the next.
The next
agenda,
step?
Yeah.
To make a formal, motion or formal
Request.
recommendation. See if you all have any feedback or
Right.
anything like that that you can bring us. We can do it that way.
All right.
You know, what we want to do is, upgrade the service
Yeah.
and at the same time, upgrade the rights, you know?
And with all due respect, we're not saying, Rosa or Sandy or Mr. Vidal, we're not saying that the service is not there, we're not saying that y'all are giving bad service. We just want to make sure that they were standing next to
Just
you
be upgraded,
to
that's all.
upgrade it some more than it
Yeah.
already is.
And get more people to use the service.
Yeah.
So I put recommendation to implement a customer satisfaction survey. And then I'm gonna put under the notes there, and for us, this is our homework, is to contact you or, any type of.
LCC,
LCC.
It's not to bring it back, but whatever happened to the PSA that we were gonna do, the PSA that we're gonna.
I am also waiting for it, Ms. Centeno. I know
Because
that,
that would be very important.
yes,
And if we could put something that can, in the channel that people would see.
have y'all
In
checked
the
on
X
that?
channel.
yes, but they said they were still working on it.
Maybe we can call our councilmen that we represent
Yeah.
and let them push it a little bit for us.
Do we know who it was that was working on it, or?
It was, I don't remember.
Was
the
it before
general-
Mr. Oyervides was moved from office? Because remember, Mr. Oyervides was at the IT over there, and then they moved him over here to the mayor's office now.
I was not even aware of that.
Yeah, he's not handling over there,
I
he's,
thought he was.
No.
The public access channel.
yeah, no, Mr. Oyervides is
I will find out who
a,
the gentleman, I can't remember his
Because
name.
it's already been over 6 months.
Yes.
We've been waiting for it.
Status.
And if we let it go, I mean,
PSA.
Viene Navidad, para Navidad lo hacen, hombre.
We have a new year coming also.
Yeah.
Well, that was around the time we made the.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
It was about
but
that time, during January, February.
Oh.
remember, Laredo is not proactive, they're reactive, so.
Santa right.
You know, when they were just speaking about Tammy U of doing the survey,
Mm-hmm.
and I noticed Tammy U's been doing their own ads.
Oh, yes.
So they have a TV and a communications department.
Yes, they do.
So does the Vidal Trevino.
Vidal.
Right.
So maybe we can,
In combination.
and get the kids.
Right, get the kids involved.
Thank you.
That's why I said there's many kids in high school
Yeah.
that are interested in this
Don't be
issue.
Plus they have,
They have the ways to
and
do it.
also the cable company,
Yeah,
I don't know since it's been bought, but I know the deal was they were doing, you could do your own little TV show,
Right.
remember?
Right.
So I don't know if they
Access.
still have that.
They might,
But
because I know they got those
I
channels.
think hitting the students at Tammy U and the students at the magnet school.
yeah, they
Yeah.
might be able to do
It
something.
becomes a project.
Right.
Competitive.
I'm sure the teachers would
Can talk
welcome
to
the
Martha
ability to
and
get it
Ann.
on the airwaves.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it gives
I'm
all
sure
that.
if we
Yeah,
did
Laredo.
it, it'd be public, I'm sure the local stations would.
Right.
Mr. Real is the one in charge over here now, ¿no?
Who?
En el ISD, Ms. Real.
She said a VMT.
Ah, bueno, ahora sí, cierto, ahora está
She
allá.
said a VMT. I could
So
always
mine
speak to her, yeah.
Ya, ahora está allá, por eso le digo, ahora está allá.
Something else?
Yes, ma'am, I sure will.
Okay.
And then we can have I don't know, progress report for next week, unless, next month.
Next one.
Unless you all want to make it into a formal motion to do that.
To make it
Yeah.
more official.
For all the, yeah, I'm writing it down.
Yeah.
Notitas? I so move for a motion.
I second the motion that we go ahead and
Okay,
see how we can get the service going.
Okay.
so we'll get some sort of a
Input.
input or whatever for the next meeting.
And
Needs to
again,
be worded better.
I recap myself on the same.
Progress report or-
For, on this survey and taxpayer surveys.
Oh, okay,
and all
got
that.
it.
And again, not to sound redundant, to make, if, when it gets back to the employees, once we start it out, it's not that we're saying that they're not doing their job, we just want to make sure that, we give the top
We're
notch
trying
that
to
we want.
improve.
Things are
We're
being
working
done.
together.
There's always room for improvement, correct?
The things are being done the right way and the way they're supposed to be done to get out there to the people. So that people could get a better customer service. Bottom line, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It all comes back to customer service.
Yes. I wrote
Any
it
further,
down.
oh, great. Any further discussion on this item?
No, sir.
We need to move on to the next.
Okay, I'm almost done.
Are you?
End of the month registered customers. I'm gonna give you a total, it's a total of 33 customers you divide that. It's a total of 17 that renewed their services. And we've had a positive impact on that. We have gotten a good response on that. We're mailing out, all the customers their services are going to expire.
Okay.
1 month before, we send them a letter, a reminder, and we send them the application. So I've been getting those renewal applications, and I know that they're the ones that we're sending out because they're folded the way we sent them out.
So once I get the renewal, I have to send you back the application.
Yes.
I haven't gotten it as of yet.
No, you're not.
No, it's still not over, I know.
No, it's every 2 years, right?
No, oh, that did change on the policies and procedures. It's every 3 years now.
3 years
years.
now, yes. That's why it hasn't changed.
Yes.
It hasn't gotten to me yet.
So the number did go up on the renewals. It's 17, and for new registered clients, we had a total of 16. So it brings us to a total of 1,039 registered customers that are.
It really's gone up.
It has.
It has gone up.
Maybe we can make it a goal to get 1,500 between now and Christmas time.
In December.
Well, that would be in the.
That would be excellent, Mr. Avila, if we do.
Make it a goal for us. For us, it's
Yes, it's
for us to walk the streets as well and reach out to the
And to
community.
increase the ridership.
Yeah, increase the ridership, get more clients, don't push it all up to them, but for us as board members,
You all need to have goals, right?
Oh, yes.
For your committee,
Yes.
so
Oh,
maybe
yes.
you can work.
Yeah.
And to
That's
bring
something
it
that
up
we
is
can
a
work
big
on,
plus
Mr.
for
Pedro.
all of us.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
fine.
your goal in 6 months would be 500 registered customers, and then to increase your ridership, and you all can determine that number.
Right,
Oh, yeah.
that sounds good.
Wait a minute, he just gives his eye.
No, that's fine, I mean, that's fine, I'm just trying to remember if we had our workshop. Because that's one of the things that, but this, it was through, what, city attorney said we didn't need one, or we didn't?
That
Yeah.
is
Is it-
online or something.
Yeah, but
The only one that was available is the one that you guys get the training.
Right.
Begin the video and the paperwork.
But see, that could have been part of the workshop, was the
Yeah.
establishment of the rules, the formal establishment of the rules.
Yeah.
But that's okay, that's just me.
Okay.
Okay, y ahora en el budget.
Ya se acabaron el papel para las notitas.
Okay, I'm almost done. The mobility report for the total trips for wheelchair customers for the month of July is a total of 56, and we have a total of 151 customers that use wheelchairs.
So we're looking at 1/4, no,
It's about 1/4 now.
¿verdad?
What we've-
1/4 that's using it?
Mhm.
I'll try it all.
Why is that the case on those ones? Well, many of them have passed away, I would
No,
assume.
but there's been a higher increase in the fixed route. You see a lot more wheelchairs in the fixed
Because I've
route.
actually seen that.
Yeah,
Okay,
Y
Mr.
son, muchas veces son el lift clients that are using
Right.
our fixed route
Mhm.
services.
With the report.
No, it's all there, yeah.
yeah.
Revenue?
Revenue
Oh,
and
I don't
maintenance.
have that report. Oh,
Yes, it is, sir.
oh, it's right there. This is for the month of July, I believe. And so for, I'm sorry, I can't really see, can you see? And I work on it. Thank you. Okay, so our total budget for just a month is 68,075, and our total expenses were 59,277, so we still had money left over for the month. For fuel, we had, our budget was 126,000, and we spent 101,000, and we still had money left over, 25,353.
Even though gas went up.
I know, and it was the sum. And the insurance, we had a total of 130,000, and we only used 115, which leaves us with a balance of 14,600.
That's very good.
For information technology, anything that we use for that money, we had a total of 33,272, and we used 24,035, and it leaves us with 9,237. For personnel, we had a balance of 239,924. So that was the report that they provided to us from the finance department at El Metro. And this is all for the month of July.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you. I can see.
Black holes, those, I like.
As long as we're in the black, we're in the red.
And then, of course, the maintenance one is always up there.
Yes,
So,
and the insurance, like last time, we were in the red.
So,
but it's okay, we're kind of, any balance is carried forward.
Okay,
Right?
yes.
Any balance-
I mean, it did great.
It's a running balance, right?
Yes, it is.
So we're in good shape.
Yes.
And I believe the
Maintenance report.
maintenance report showed that it was 100% on the preventive maintenance.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing, which means that the
Saving
vehicles
money.
Yeah,
They're doing the job.
they're doing good. And speaking of
Yeah, well,
vehicles.
most of them are new, not all of them, but most of them are new.
Yeah.
You
We
can tell
have
by
a
the
total
paint
of
job.
4, yes, 4 new vans, yes.
And the other ones are still going.
Yes, they are. We should be getting some. We should be
more.
getting 3
Three
more
more.
by the end of the year.
Good.
We want some grants.
So
We're happy to hear that.
Yeah.
I like those new vans are good, you know.
Oh, the MB ones, yes.
The new vans are very good, they're very nice. The stairs are very good.
Miss Alada.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Alada.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
So be quorum next time.
Thank
Thank you, Miss Alada.
Thank you, Ms. Alada, for participating.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you. The stairs on the new vans are very high. That's the only thing I can say. They're beautiful, okay, but the stairs are pretty high.
But they don't,
On the bench?
No,
Oh,
they
the
don't, they
spacing on
don't,
the
yes,
stairs?
the spacing on them. They're pretty high. But they're very nice. I can't say they're not.
I know.
The only thing that I did complain to the drivers was the height.
The steps.
Yeah, the steps, on the steps, yes.
That's-
I fell, look, and there were no stairs where I fell. I went on my knees.
I can ask Jackson to see what the specs are as far, maybe they can be changed or,
Maybe they can, because
and if
that's,
not, pues, o sea que le bajen.
because the older,
Exactly.
the older vans are not that high.
Mhm.
I don't know if they're about half an inch higher or something like that. If they can check on it, please, Mrs. Putnam.
Yes, we will. We'll include it on the progress report.
yes, please, thank you.
Now, on the other ones that we got, they're very good where only two people can come in and one
Those
wheelchair.
are
and
new
one-
ones.
Those are very nice, because those are very convenient for all of us.
Those are the ones the supervisors drive, right?
No.
Those are, no, those are not.
I've been picked up by those
Oh,
ones.
the other
The
one.
The other ones, the
The
ones.
very first ones we got, the very first ones we got.
Blocks.
Yeah. I remember
Look at
those.
blocks.
Remember when I went riding,
The cubic.
they went to
Oh,
pick me
yeah.
up at the food bank? Yeah, those ones.
That one fits 3
Yeah.
wheelchairs.
No, one wheelchair.
Which
One
one?
wheelchair.
It's a van, it's an MV one.
It's a wheelchair and two
Oh, okay,
passengers.
Es más
Yes,
chiquita.
yes.
And
okay.
two
Okay, nomás una
passengers.
silla and two
The
passengers.
And two
little ones are
passengers,
also
yeah.
lower and all that, yes, yes,
Is it
okay.
three wheelchairs? No way,
No.
it's one wheelchair.
Yeah, no, it's the other one.
Yeah.
It's also the one that has the signage on the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So make a motion to accept the reports being presented to us.
I so move.
There's a motion and a second, and any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you all very much. Thank you for all that. We have, that's it.
New
for the
items.
reports, right? We have the action items, right? Next?
The new items.
I guess that
Oh,
would be,
new items.
Oh,
New
okay.
on the, one of them would be the ordinance clarification.
I
You guys had requested. On that one, I did email Mr. Christian Rosas.
Mhm.
I am still waiting to get a reply from him. I did email him. It's because the kind of tricky thing is, I'm pretty sure he's probably getting the same emails from every single department. So I did send him our bylaws so he can review them. And I'm just pending the response to see, well, I'm pretty sure because last time when I spoke to him, he said he just needed to see our bylaws. So I did send him the bylaws. So he's just reviewing those. I guess it would be after he finished reviewing them. They do go back all the way to when the committee started, so then they'll probably go from there, like, they don't know, okay, you follow this. What I'm guessing is, I know they did start, one of the first meetings I did attend, it was to more of a uniform policy, so they kinda, I guess they wanted to do away with clauses like that from your bylaws, that way they all follow one. Cause then it pretty much, at least to me, wouldn't make sense, make this whole ordinance, make everyone follow it. Yeah, well, if you have bylaws, then forget about it. Yeah, you're changing all of our, everything else.
As long as we get an answer.
Yes.
Can we make a motion to go ahead and table the item, bring it back on the next meeting,
Yes, we can.
since we don't have an answer?
Correct. Sure.
I so move to that effect that we don't, until we have an answer from them, we will either see
Further
what is gonna
discussion
be
on it.
done, dispose of it. If not, we will continue having it on the agendas until we get an answer from them.
I mean, and I guess this would bring me to letter B, the motion you guys.
Before we do that, we have a motion. Is there a second? Because if not, then the motion dies for want of a second. Is there a second to the motion? The second to table the letter A.
Clarification.
Clarification.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Okay,
I
now,
guess that would move me to letter B, where we members would authorize you to contact them in reference to their attendance. I guess at this point, Ms. Guerra and Ms. Martinez, I guess it really wouldn't really matter. This would be their third consecutive meeting without, I guess what we call no call, no show. So,
right.
I mean, whether we follow the attendance, the ordinance, or whether we follow our bylaws, it's still the third consecutive one, so it really has no
It hasn't really changed.
Okay.
There's no
It
effect
really
on
won't
this.
change for them regardless because it's still the third consecutive one.
Whichever way we look at it, it's still
Whichever
free.
way we look at it, it's still three.
So there's,
regardless.
what you're basically saying that they're out.
We still have to contact their council members. But I'll mention in regards to, since Mr. Case was gonna contact them, let them know, hey, what's going on.
Mhm.
But pretty much with them, it be officially that they're consecutive, regardless whether we follow the ordinance or the bylaws, it's still their consecutive one.
I just have a question, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
By verifications on, by any chance, sometimes we lose sight, and I know we're spending our time, but by any chance have we made other contacts or tried to make other contacts with them, or have they responded to you by any chance as far as?
The emails, and especially the text messages, that's our preferred method of communication,
Okay.
that's why we did that, so I didn't go back, they just ticked off, email, text message, we tried to get in contact with them. At some point, they were responding throughout the beginning of the year, and then just communication got cut off.
Okay. We got 5 loyal ones. Yeah.
I mean, we still, I still need to go through, let their council members know, do everything, the proper steps.
Yeah, let's see all the
But-
proper channels.
I guess in reference to those two members, there's really no, and it doesn't matter which way we look at it or what policy we follow, it's still that they're consecutive.
You know, it's very sad that some people, and I have to repeat myself again, you know, don't understand the importance or don't want to know the importance of these advisory committees, because we should make an effort,
True.
you know, to be here, because it's super important for our community. This is what I've been harping at all the time, and Mr. Kaysen can say that, and Mr. Kaiser, who have been here the longest, or with me, and you all staff. I've always been harping at that. I mean, I say, I have a problem, and I'm here. You know, so I say that if I'm here, anybody else could be here. And I understand, you know, Ms. Martinez well, Ms. Martinez, she never came. The other lady, the one that's a teacher,
That's from Tiveros.
on Tiveros. I really admired her because she was here throughout her pregnancy. She did tell us that she was gonna be in leave because of her pregnancy, and she did come back once after her baby was born. I mean, those are efforts that you have to do if you're responsible for something like this. This is what I say. But I hope the councilman can appoint someone that would really be interested in doing what they're doing.
I guess my other suggestion would be, when contacting them, instead of having them go through the process of being removed, maybe they can mention to you, you know what, I resign.
Mr. Avila,
Yes.
we have to be submitting biannual reports.
Right.
So on that biannual report, the attendance record is on there.
The last
So
one we
and
submitted.
it is sent out to the council members and the mayor. So we also, in Metro and every city department has to submit
The biannual
city
report,
managers' reports every week. I believe Ms. Samia had mentioned this.
Yes.
And then that report is also the attendance of the
The members,
committees.
yeah.
So it's on.
So they're basically they're aware already.
They're
They should-
aware.
Yes.
Yay! So glad you could join us.
How you doing?
I'm begging for money.
You came to the wrong office.
You can come join us allá.
Oh, you going for
Ahorita
that?
ahí voy para allá, nomás vamos.
Ahí estaba.
Stop.
Okay.
Ahí voy para allá. No sé, voy para allá.
Ya, no. It's all good.
I guess that would be a good suggestion, maybe they'd offer their own resignation instead of
Probably gonna
taking
need
a
a
letter.
no why.
They're not-
I'm getting sworn
That's
Hey, let's get it on before he comes in here.
Because I believe if they get the letter that they're pretty much kicked out, I think they can't serve on any board for like a year.
It's either a year or two.
A year or two. So I know the city has those so I guess it'd be a good avenue for them instead of getting the boot, maybe they offer the resignation and say, well, you know what, I can't make it, which is understandable, I can't make it, I'll resign. It gives them-
That's an option to them.
It's a little bit more leadway, makes it easier, a smoother transition, you know what, she resigned, wasn't able, we understand, can we get someone else appointed?
Right, because sometimes things change, people are able to make certain.
Yeah.
'Cause I think the process to get someone, a replacement will be a lot harder and longer if we send out a letter, have a response, other than just talking to him, they resign.
I think that when I went to tell them to get more responsible, they did get some more responsible people. But we're still lacking 2 more, 3 more.
Oh, we need 4.
We'd actually need 4, we still have a vacancy.
one never named someone.
Councilman
Sammy.
San Miguel.
He never did?
No, he's got a vacancy there, so.
The good thing he's running for mayor. Oh, sorry. Forgot.
So we can get that.
He has the biggest signs and
I better stop before I get in trouble.
Motion to adjourn.
So are we saying that,
Oh, yeah.
go ahead and
so
contact
motion-
or not contact?
So, I guess this was more of an action item, motion for you guys to, you guys wanna authorize Mr. Kazan to be able to contact the,
I so moved, make the motion.
I second to that effect.
Yeah.
You're going to be the
He'll be the Grinch guy for the day.
Yeah.
You're gonna be the naughty one,
He'll
sir.
be the Grinch.
How many have violated that 3 absences? How many have
Why
already
you-
gone beyond that?
There
Just
is
the two.
nothing other than
why
if
not the councilman?
the councilman can do it. The only, I think, I'm trying to remember, because it was 2 meetings ago, 3 meetings ago,
Yeah.
was just to have the contact to kind of encourage them to come in. But if they've already reached the point,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, how many have already gone beyond?
I guess all of them.
Just the two.
The thing, and I think we're kicking ourselves back again because Mrs. Sparza just made a point right now that every council member, well, they should read what they get. So if they have read it, then they're already aware that for the last 2 months they haven't come. So I'm assuming, being the responsible councilmen that we have, that they're gonna look at the, oh, okay, I need somebody else.
Well,
I
they should look at it, that's what it is.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but, you know, not to
I'm
be so.
saying, instead of,
Mr. Case, and maybe the councilman
Maybe the
are the ones that
councilman
are
should-
supposed to be
well,
talking
or
to
Mr.
them.
Hazen can talk to
To the councilman, yeah.
Come in and let them,
I got you.
Yeah,
that'd probably be better.
Instead of putting yourself on the spot, all right, send it back to the council.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That would be good.
because really the ones that are responsible are the councilmen.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Correct.
And you're correct, the things have changed, or the situation has changed.
Yeah.
Because before it was to encourage them to come before we got
Ahí,
it.
hello, por favor, la luz.
Yes.
and the councilman handles it and that also makes him aware that, by the way, you're gonna have to make an appointment.
Right, exactly, that's right, Mr. Kason.
I think
I
that,
would move to that effect,
yeah, I'll
that
second
Mr.
that.
Kason gets in touch with the councilmen,
Give him
that
more
need to be get in touch to, and then the councilmen are responsible
See,
to get to the members.
see, Mr. Kazin, see how your board loves you? See how your board loves you?
Yeah, we're gonna take care of you.
Mr. Kason.
Oh, no, that's all right. Let's see if they take my call.
A comment on that, you can also contact Mr. Valdez, Joe Valdez, city secretary.
Oh, that's right,
He normally
that's right.
sends them notification, this individual is not showing up, be aware. And then, my understanding, he's the one that puts in the openings for the agenda on the council
Oh,
meeting,
he's-
like there's a vacancy here, here and there.
Yeah.
So my suggestion, right, it could be, like,
Valdez.
just try and
Joe
keep
would
him
be
on
in
the loop,
contact.
so it doesn't come through him you never told me that.
Should
Right,
I,
it doesn't
should I
come around, yeah.
reword my motion then?
I mean, you
I
can
think
amend
it's a
it
good
just to make
idea, I
contact
think we
with.
have a city secretary,
Yeah.
that's the one that's responsible for us, he was the one that swore out.
Yes, exactly.
So I think that he should be the one that do the
Be directed
duties,
over to him.
to do the duties of talking or sending notification to the different council persons.
And the monthly reports we send out, actually go to him. So he
Yeah.
does
See,
get to
he's
see.
already aware
So
of
he's
what's
aware of
going
it.
on.
Mr. Valdez
So
can-
as long as he's notified of what he needs to do, and he can call the councilman or write him or something, let him know by notification.
Courtesy is just that.
Yeah.
You don't wanna overstep anybody.
You're correct about that.
Mr. Chairman, just real quick, Mr. Vidal, on that same point, every council member, you have notified them that they're lacking a representative for this
Yes.
organization.
Yes, they
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, they know.
thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
So then, I guess motion is to contact
Mr.
City Secretary.
Secretary.
Yeah.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
Nope.
All right, all
Think we
those in
should
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Alright.
All opposed? Okay, and this goes to our bylaws, which say that the no PAC committee member can represent themselves, or can represent the PAC unless the committee itself votes that person into that, whether it's chairman or whoever it is.
Whoever it is.
All right, so, but just a
Clarification.
clarification as to why we're making it so formal.
Right.
So, Actually, I don't think we have any items for executive session.
No, sir.
No,
we
I just,
don't.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, and real quick, Sandy, I want to go through it. I know we're running behind times, but I sat down with the colonel and the sergeant major over at Nixon High School. I'm the booster president for the Nixon ROTC. We're wanting to see if we can, and Mr. Chairman, if we can bring it up on the next item, if we can put an item on the agenda for the next one. What we're doing this year is, or we're planning on to, that's one of our major projects, is on the parade for the Christmas parade and hopefully the Washington's birthday parade. I wanted to ask to see if it's possible, if El Metro would be willing, all the wheelchair military, that we have, that there is some out there, the ones that can move around, we're gonna put them up on an 18-wheeler, on a trailer, on a flatbed. But the ones that couldn't, could El Metro participate, or one of the vans participate with some former Army, Marine, whatever the case may be that he had been,
Veterans.
a veteran, and could we, could they ride along on the vans, we would dress up, the booster club would take care of dressing out the van with the permission on the outside, and just, they would tag along behind the flatbed of the 18-wheeler. We're wanting to do something like that since the ROTC, the kids from there, and I brought this up before LISD board already, that, how many football and baseball and basketball really go into NBA, WNBA, or the college, footballs. There's some that have, I'm not saying that we haven't had one,
Yeah.
but if you look at it in the Marine and the ROTC and others, how many, if you got 10 seniors, how many, we just had 12 seniors. Out of those 12 seniors, we had 4 of them join the Army.
Right.
So we get a bigger crowd of turnaround of good, I'm not saying the rest of them not good, I'm saying, they go serve, go do something, follow that lead, and they get less money than what football, basketball, and everybody else did. So that's a different scenario, but I'm just giving you the scenarios of what we're looking at and what we're trying to do, hopefully between the December parade and the Washington's birthday parade, that if we can have one of the bands, and if we could put something on an item agenda for next one, I would appreciate it to see. That way I can get some feedback or back to the parents, hey, we've gotten this already, or we're gonna have this already happening. This is what we're gonna do from forward on.
Well, there's a motion. Is there a second?
I would second it.
Well, but he's asking for next, to be put up in
To put on
next.
the,
Yeah, to put up in the, I'm just giving you a summary explanation of what would it be for.
And then that way we can get feedback as to whether it's
Well,
even
we
possible
can
or
be allowed.
would be
Exactly.
required.
That's the protocol.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll start researching and kind of getting some pre-approvals, because I'm gonna have to bring it to council.
Right.
Right.
I doubted there'll be opposition, but let me do the research, make sure
Patriotic
that we
Army.
cover all the bases and.
Correct.
I would like to make a motion to see if we can get that done.
Sure. Second.
I'm
Second?
optimistic that it can be done, so we just need to go through
A
The proper
second.
channels.
Yeah.
yes.
Thank
A
you.
second?
There's a motion and a second. Is there, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
All right.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, colleagues. I appreciate that. Thank you, Ms.
San Miguel.
San Miguel.
Maybe,
You need to write those names.
Mhm.
yes, maybe now, if the city would say no, which I don't think they will not, they will say no. I think maybe we can bring it up in the CAA for the Águila,
I've got it.
Or we can do either or. It doesn't matter. Or if we could use both, why not?
The
Because we
more the
have,
merrier.
because we have a lot of veterans that are out in the
Colonias.
county.
Mhm.
Well, there's UISD and there's LISD.
Yeah.
They have
Yeah.
the buses that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so there's options.
We can make it a beautiful
Yeah.
event, honestly, working together.
Yeah, so,
Thank you very much. I
Oh,
appreciate
thank
that,
you.
Mr. Chairman.
okay, then we do not have executive session items.
No.
So if anybody,
So
Make a motion.
there's a motion. Is there a second?
A second.
All right. All in favor?
Uh,
Aye.
All right, we're only 15 minutes over our usual hour schedule.